Back again on MNC Business Special Dialogue with UBS. Mr. MACKAY, when we talk about ASEAN, what kind of possible or potential risk factor we must be aware of so preventive action can be taken, learning from our neighbors and our fellow also there in the European Union regarding the financial services industry, so we can really realize a good, healthy growth of the banking sector?
Good question. What lessons can we draw? I think that in Indonesia and a number of, almost all the Asian countries, in many ways already drew their lessons from what happened in 97, 98. And you don't have the over-indebtedness that was present before the previous Asian financial crisis is certainly for ASEAN is viewed as this is a very different situation. People have learned their lessons from that. I think in terms of learning lessons from the recent financial crisis, they're fairly similar lessons. People have to be very careful, if we're talking about the banking system, with being rigorous about loans, not chasing any loan just to meet growth targets, making sure that fraud, credit checking, counterparty risks are all appropriately and sensibly looked at. I mean, there often is no sort of magic formula for these things. It's about being prudent and not overextending yourselves. And I think ASEAN has learnt those lessons from the past crisis. I think in many ways the thing for the Indonesian banking system to be focused on is gathering more deposits. I think that's the one thing that could potentially restrain the very promising growth that we think will come through, is just ensuring that the deposit base can sustain the loans for which there's clearly enormous demand.
Earlier I talked and discussed with you about this kind of a set of regulatory framework needed by the financial services industry, especially the banking sector. Indonesia, what is your position and your opinion about the time people say that we are still considered as the over-regulated nation in terms of the financial services industry to develop and growing more? Sometimes it's like holding investors back from this country.
I can't speak with too much authority about the burden of regulation on day-to-day business in Indonesia, but a lot of countries and a lot of industries globally are suffering from a lot of regulation. There's a lot of focus on compliance, a lot of rules post-financial crisis, and each country has its own specific amounts of red tape or other bureaucracy to deal with. And anecdotally from our clients, we understand that things are improving, which is a good thing.
As the Managing Director for Strategic Client Coverage in Asia, where are you going to lead and bring UBS?
Where am I going to?
Yeah, where are you going to lead and bring UBS, especially in the ASEAN region? Where are you going? How will you expand the UBS and strengthen your branding position as well?
Well, we believe we have a good brand already. It's always capable of improvement. We are fortunate in the sense that we are in all the markets in ASEAN and have been for a long time. Our presence in Indonesia, we've had an office in Indonesia since 1996. No, we've had a full broking license since 1996. So we have over 40 people on the ground in Indonesia, providing research, sales, investment banking, as well as all the people who come in from our other hub regions in Singapore and Hong Kong. So we have a very sizable and strong banking presence here, and we first advised the Indonesian government on a transaction back in 1974. So our association and our position, our branding here does go back a long way. There's always scope for improvement. I think that we want to be advising and assisting and finding solutions for the most interesting, dynamic corporates and individuals in Indonesia, and we will sort of relentlessly hunt out those situations and try and do that.
Okay, let's use the last session talking more detail about UBS and who are they actually joining this kind of winning teamwork of UBS around the world. After this one, Mr. MACKAY. Make sure you are still with us. We still have one more session on MNC Business Special Dialogue with UBS.